We've got afternoon baseball for you here from St. Louis. It's the Pirates and the Cardinals here today from Busch Stadium. And the Pirates hope to get back into the swing of things here in St. Louis as they've dropped the first two games of the series, looking to salvage one here in the series finale. And welcome into the booth. Joe Block and Bob Walk with you here today as the Pirates have been featuring good pitching really for a good long while now. And we'll see Jameson Taillon on the mound today. What really has made him unique, I think, has been his consistent performances day in and day out.
He does so many things well that you have a hard time listing them all. He has great command of his four-seam fastball to both sides of the plate. He can mix in a two-seam sinker when he needs a ground ball. He has started to throw a slider this year, which has been a very important pitch for him. Sometimes he makes it a little bigger. He can throw a short one, try to jam the left-hand hitters. He's got a great changeup. Everything that he does is much better than average, and that's why he puts up all these great numbers that we're seeing on the screen. But the one thing that you just mentioned probably sets him apart from anybody else, and that's how consistent he is. He goes out there every 5 days most of the time, and all that stuff I just talked about is there for him all the time.
Yeah, his last start wasn't all that sharp, but still very effective. One run over 5 innings. And I've been wanting to ask you too, how much does defense play a role in good pitching?
A huge role. I mean, look in last night's ball game. Things got out of hand last night. Not necessarily because of the pitching, but I mean, wasn't that good. But the defense really kind of caved in there at the end of the game, and that caused a lot of the damage. And that's something that we have to maintain. We have to play good defense looking toward next year to take advantage of this pitching staff they put together.
We'll see if they can pick up Jameson Taillon here today. His mound opposition is a guy looking for his first major league win. Daniel Ponce de Leon for the Cardinals. It's the Pirates in St. Louis. We got baseball coming up right here on AT Sportsnet. Cardinals here this afternoon as they try to win all 3 games of the series. We have not seen him so far. He's just getting his feet wet at the major league level. And boy, when he got started in the big leagues, he was literally unhittable.
Yeah, I mean, he came on and made a big splash. You know, it was, you know, all over everywhere that night. And he did it against the Reds in their ballpark. So it wasn't like he was, you know, pitching extremely well against, you know, a so-so offense. And as we know, those guys can hit. They can put up big runs, especially when they're at home. And he came out and shut them down. So we'll see what he's got tonight. You know, a basic package of stuff. His slider is kind of a cutter type. It's real short and quick, throws it very hard. In fact, he calls it a cutter. Everything is a little bit above average, a little bit below what Tyone throws, but a similar package of pitches. And if he has that same command, he'll put up numbers like you see there on the screen.
Yeah, he's been in and out of the rotation, getting a start here today for the Cardinals as we look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders. And it doesn't matter who has been in there for the Cardinals. They pitch.
Yeah, they have. You know, they like to rely on, I was mentioning this earlier, on their young arms. They've done this for years. They have faith in these guys when they come up. You know, as long as they're throwing strikes, they'll go with that good stuff. And it seems to always pay off with them. They always have good starting pitching. And again, this year, they're doing a great job.
We'll see what can counter that here this afternoon for the Pirates. Here in September, a lot of the youngsters are in the lineup today. And we'll see who they feature here this afternoon. Coming up here on AT&T Sportsnet. The Buccos here in St. Louis. And another guy that we've been getting a look at, the number 5 hitter today over at third base, will be Kevin Kramer. And, you know, he's shown an intriguing bat in the little that we've seen him so far.
Well, the offense, so we've talked about this a lot this year about how inconsistent it's been. And the Pirates are looking to improve that for next season. And, you know, a lot of that improvement's going to have to come from within. You see what Kramer has done in the minor leagues, and I love the life the baseball has when it comes off his bat. So certainly a guy that's going to be closely watched here in the month of September.
And he'll be in the lineup. A lot of the young guys in there for the Buccos here today in St. Louis. But first, let's go back to our studios. Check in with Rob King. He's got a game break. How is 99 good enough to make the postseason?
Sportsnet is brought to you by the law firm of Bordas & Bordas. Bordas & Bordas, fighting for justice. Let's go Bucks!
Daniel Ponce de Leon goes for St. Louis here today. Mike Schilt putting him into the rotation just the other day, so he'll go back in, make another start, looking for his first big league W. The Pirates trying to spoil that. Here another gorgeous weather day here in St. Louis in the shadows of the Gateway Arch. Just a few blocks from here.
Be a warm afternoon, even though there's some a little bit of cloud cover. Normal St. Louis weather.
Yeah, it has been very nice. Here's the RAP4 lineup for the Pirates here this afternoon. Adam Frazier back atop the order. He'll play second base today with Marte and Bell, and Luplow cleaning up. Kramer and Reyes and Newman. Stallings and Tyone round out the Pirates 9 today. So a lot of the call-ups.
Yeah, very much a September lineup this afternoon.
And a September pitcher.
Yeah. Ponce de Leon out there. I think they're probably trying to add to their starting pitching depth right now. And the starting pitching's been good all year, but you start checking off like who they can maybe rely on here at the end of the season. Probably looking for one more.
And maybe auditions for some middle relief in the postseason.
They like their mustaches, this starting rotation.
Yes, they do. The Honda defense today. Tyler O'Neill with a home run yesterday. He's out right today with Ozuna and Bader joining him out there. Carpenter Munoz gets a start with Wong and Adams on the right side. Carson Kelly is the catcher for the Cards. We saw a mustachioed Miles Michaelis yesterday. He's on the left there. Yeah, they're starting to.
I think it's going to be their signature. It looks like they're
next
they're
is
all
you.
doing it.
Next is you. I think you got to bring yours back.
No, I have somebody that says no. So can't
I think I know who that might be.
Maybe next year. Takes me about 6 months to grow it. So
Okay.
I'm going to have plenty of lead time.
Just for one day. That's all we want.
We'll have to paint it on them.
Adam Frazier up to 289. It was of little consequence, but it was fun to see the Pirates bat around in the ninth inning last night. Frazier, who had been hitless, came through with another RBI hit, as he's done so much of since coming back up, just hitting all over the place. Talking with him the other day, feels like his swing is in a better place, that he knows his swing better than he's ever known in his career. If he gets out of sorts, he can fix it. Carpenter able to pick up the first out. Well, if you notice all the young players in there today, the Pirates AA affiliate, the Altoona Curve. This is the first time the starting lineup consists all of Curve alumni. As Corey Geiger, their beat writer in Altoona, mentioning that, and it never happened before. Once they had everybody but Freeze, but yeah, these are all homegrown Pirate products in the lineup today. Everybody that's in the lineup was either drafted or signed, in say Marte's case, and have spent their whole pro careers as Pirates. So that's kind of fun to see for a developmental side of things. As you talked about, Bob, I mean, you know, the Pirates, if they go from being, you know, an average bunch this year, they're right around 500, to that postseason team, in part, they're going to need some of the guys to ascend, whether it's
the offense
yeah,
is going to have to do most of the getting better, getting more consistent from within.
Yeah, it's whether, you know, guys are improving, who are established guys, or some of the guys that we might see today that become factors for the first time at the major league level. And it's good to see Bell, for instance, last 4 games.
And I think
start to get right.
I mean, that's one of the important things we're looking at here in September. Bell's starting to drive the ball. You know, even when he's not getting it over the fence, he's hitting it very hard. He's getting a lot of barrels to it. He's driving it the other way hard, not just flares off the end of the bat. And I think that's what we need to see, and that's what he needs to see going into the off season. Okay, you know, my power stroke is still there.
He had a fantastic rookie campaign, driving in 90 runs. Jeff Branson, Jeff Livesey, the hitting coach, is working with him. Of course, he works on his own quite a bit too. He's one of those guys that was always working on his swing. Ever had, since he was a little kid, he's been doing that. I should say swings, really, as a switch hitter, and to maintain two. .92 up middle. We'll see if that's a little bit of a deception or whatnot as we go through today. Our first look at Ponce de Leon, as well as all the guys in the box.
His fastball average is about just a tick under 94, so he's got decent velocity. He's right at 94, center square, right down the pipe.
A couple of strikeouts for Ponce de Leon as he navigates through the first. The first inning. Mike Schiltz 9 today. Matt Carpenter, familiar, back at the top of the order. He said well against Tyone in his career. The rookie O'Neill in front of Adams and Ozuna, a 7-game hitting streak. Munoz and Wong, Bader, Kelly, and then Ponce de Leon for St. Louis.
Tyone's numbers on the year as he gets ready to hopefully throw another one of his gems. Maybe win number 13.
I was really impressed his last time around. 1 run over 5 innings. The results were there, but if you watched it, he was battling himself the entire game.
He's taken such strides this year. I mean, he has become that pitcher that I think we assumed he was going to be when the season started. He kind of got off to a little shaky start there very early on, but now, what would you say, about 80% of his season he has been that guy.
At least. I mean, you only got to, what, 3 starts. He's allowed more than 3 earned runs all year.
I know we talked down in spring training on some of his games we did together that we both thought that there would be an all-star game appearance for him this year, which there certainly will be, because he is going to be that guy for an entire season, multiple seasons.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, when we talk about young pitchers, we're trying to, maybe carve out something and go, if he just did this, he'd be this. Well, he's just done this, period.
Spring training is always making you look toward best case scenarios. You know, spring training is time for hope and what could happen and all this good stuff. It's natural, I think, to have high expectations of all your players, but especially the guys you know are on the edge of being a star type guy.
Carpenter will work the walk, the National League home run leader. He's aboard to start when the ball is put in play. The Pirates defense today. Frazier is at second base with Newman across the Keystone sack from him, and it's Kramer and Bell on corners. Reyes, Marte, and Luplow in the outfield. Jacob Stallings does the catching. Those two have worked before down in the minor leagues. It's hard to, we were talking about Tyone. Hard to believe really that it seems like he's been around for a long time now. He's only been up for 2.5 years in the major leagues. Tyler O'Neill, a ton of power. Hit his 8th home run yesterday. Hit 26 down at AAA this year.
Kind of a compact power guy.
Yeah, sometimes you see a big long swing, but because maybe he's not as tall as some of these guys, he can.
But he can still launch it.
Carpenter's running, and he'll be in there with a stolen base. After the strikeout.
Chase that curveball down.
Stolen base number 4. He's been running a little bit more lately.
A lot of hitters, base runners will like to peek in from first base to see if they can see the signs. I wonder if he looked in and saw a curveball.
Yeah, because you don't think of him as
a base stealer.
Yeah. He's an opportunist.
But if you look in on an 0-2 pitch and you see curveball, you can pretty much bet the ranch it's going to be bouncing. Or at least the pitcher is going to try to put that ball in the dirt in front of the catcher and get a swing. So that, if there's ever a perfect pitch to run on, that would be it. As you can see what the result is, there's not even a play.
And let's look at our AARP take on and Matt Adams against the Pirates over the last 2 seasons. Hitting at .328 with 6 home runs. That's with the Braves, Nationals, and Cardinals. He's bounced around, but he's done very well against the Pirates.
Yes, he has. He's definitely giving us a hard time. Since he's come back to the Cardinals, his average hasn't been much. I think he was hitting about 150 when we came into town, but last night you could kind of tell that he was thinking more about, trying to spread the ball around and get just some base knocks.
Played him perfectly. And Newman has the second out as Carpenter advances to third.
Last night we had the shifts on, and twice he just hit little ground balls the other way through the open side.
Let's look at StatCast AI powered by AWS. You're right there. They had him play perfectly. Instead of having him shaded maybe
all those balls that he pulls on the ground, that's when he's trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And
so maybe noticing how he's been approaching things in this series, right?
I think you notice too when you look at the stat sheet and you go, man, that back here in St. Louis, I need to start getting some hits. Now he did have, when the season or when this series started, he did have a couple of long balls, but he hadn't been getting the hits, and I think that was just an example of when guys do want to go the other way and get a hit. If they get a pitch they can handle away, will do that.
Marcell Ozuna, their hottest hitter going right now. 7-game hitting streak. 8-game hitting streak. Cardinals lead 1-0.
Reached out, I think hit a slider. Did not hit it all that well. It's kind of like a reaching, hooking swing. A curveball, maybe. Saw Pena hit a couple of balls just like that last night, where he kind of reach out and almost one hand the ball into left field, a breaking ball away.
That's one that I know you know, Bob, you hate to give up as a pitcher. You know, a leadoff walk, a guy peeks in, gets a stolen base.
Maybe I don't know that that's what happened, but could have been.
Or whatever, you know, but he stole the base,
yeah.
You know, on a leadoff walk and moves to third on a bounce out, scores on just a little
it's like
poke into left.
You gave away a run. Yeah, that's the way you feel when you come off the field. You know, a walk, the steal, into the bat, base hit, knocks in the run.
Now Jairo Munoz getting a start today. You know, Taillon, we've been talking about his consistency and that kind of, you know, all-star type feel. You know, you got me thinking. You've always talked about that standard about giving up, you know, 3 runs. You give up more than 3 runs and, you know, you're not really giving your team a chance to win. But
right.
For him,
that's your limit.
The amount of starts he's had, 3 earned runs or fewer, only 4 other pitchers have more all year, and they're all the big names. So he's been right up there with the best. And that'll be a single tally for the Cardinals here in the first. Pirates got to get things going here in the second in St. Louis. We showcase local artists and tracks on Friday Night Rocks during every Friday Pirates game. Spinning Jenny will be our featured performer this Friday night as the Pirates take on the Brewers on Friday Night Rocks, presented by Iron City Beer. Trying to get the cleats all dug out. Jordan Luplow starts it off for the Pirates. Kramer and Reyes as the Pirates do some evaluating here in September. Didn't think the mound would be all that sticky, but Taillon doing some.
That must
some work
put a little
there.
extra. You know, I noticed last night that Michaelis.
There's a hit for Luplow. Coming hard out of the box.
Oh, he looked like he wanted to challenge Osuna. Now, Osuna has not been throwing well this year.
Well, now he's had a DL stint and a cortisone shot, so that shoulder is back to feeling better.
He's not throwing well, though. I saw him throw the other night from the warning track, and he could barely get the ball to the first cutoff guy. Might be feeling better, but
yeah, that's still not good, but it's better than it was. It was, I mean, he would have easily take a second base.
It was Carpenter like
infielder type arm, yeah. Now Kevin Kramer. You know, I think everyone wants their team to always be in the postseason every single year, of course. Once that isn't a realistic possibility, I enjoy, you know, if that is the case every year, you know, and this year it is, I enjoy this time of year to see, you know, okay, we've seen Kramer in spring training. Now it's an opportunity, you know. Sometimes it's against guys like Ponce de Leon, who spent most of their year in AAA as well. But sometimes you see him against.
And that really doesn't even matter. It's just at this level, this scenario, this atmosphere. I mean, that is what, you know, really makes the difference for these guys. And it is going to be some guys that are legit, you know, veteran pitchers. You're going to see those too.
And you're also, you know, to underscore what you're just saying too, I mean, you know, this Cardinals team, Ponce de Leon is trying to keep the Cardinals in the postseason picture. It's not for smiles and laughs today. I mean, this is.
No, he's starting because they think he's one of their best starters. That's why he's out there.
He's come up with his third strikeout.
And a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean, he's not overpowering, but he's got a good fastball. And a nice mix of pitches. A little short slider cutter pitch he has. Curveball changeup.
Yeah, they have not been afraid to go upstairs with it either. The begoggled Ponce de Leon.
Chris Sabo.
Yes, that's yeah. The old Reds third baseman. He has some thick goggles.
What did they call him?
Like
what was the name of that dog?
Spuds McKenzie.
Spuds, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That was his nickname.
The old beer mascot. It's like he had 3 sheets of plexiglass over his eyes.
Well, he could hit. So he could see pretty good.
It helped him. Yeah, he was good. Saw him out there somewhere in Cincinnati this year. They had a what was it for the Reds Hall of Fame? He was a part of that one. Part of that ceremony. SABO, look him up. They should twist toward the seats. It will. 1-2 on Reyes. He's an active sort, isn't he, Pablo Reyes?
Yes, he is. He is full of energy. Wants to be involved in everything. Takes a pretty big swing for a little guy. Oh, that Martin.
Yeah. Jose Martinez also very much in the thing. No, I did say.
Oh, you
Reyes,
did say Pablo Reyes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Martinez also just competing for that award today. And he finds a base hit. Pirates with a couple of singles in the inning, 2 aboard.
I like the fact that he goes up there and is aggressive with that stick.
Yeah, he's not waiting around. But it doesn't seem like he's been too wild. You know, I mean, his swing is not maybe as orthodox as some, but it doesn't seem like he's got the wrong idea up there either. It's different, but this is fun to, you know, to be able to figure these guys out a little bit.
You know, Jay, same thing when he came up. You know, he's not a real big guy, but he lets that bat go.
And he's swinging at stuff sometimes a few inches off the ground.
Right. I mean, it's just, you can be very, very successful with being an aggressive type hitter. I mean, you don't try to put everybody into the same, you know, pigeonhole.
Right. It's results oriented. Yeah, so you can hit, you can hit.
You know, let them be themselves. Do what they do. If there's no success, then, you know, okay, we're going to have to make a little change here. But let them be themselves.
Newman with a chance here.
Now, I had a kind of feeling like Newman first dozen or so at bats we saw him, he was kind of the opposite. Like he was not letting it fly, kind of feeling for the ball, just trying to make contact. Last night was the first time I think I saw him really like let the bat go and maybe be himself. And especially that ball that he drove up into the gap.
That had sting on it.
Real hard, you know, a bigger swing.
Yeah, that was good to see. Picked up his second RBI.
And that's why, you know, I think it's good to have, one of the reasons it's good to have these guys up here is for, you know, things like that to get you over those first few at bats where you're feeling for the ball.
He's got another hit, but O'Neill's got a good arm. He quit hockey because of partially because of that. Growing up in British Columbia. So solidly struck that and O'Neill charged it.
Hey, not very deep when he got to that ball. And only one out. If there's two outs in it, you probably have to take a shot and score there.
Or if the pitcher was up next. You got Stallings here, so base is full with one out. Pitcher is on deck, though. All the things that a third base coach thinks about, right, before the play develops. Stallings at 200, hit at 285 at AAA. He's been a nice guy to have around. He's a reserve catcher. Has sparingly started, but you know when he's in there, he can put the bat on the ball. It seems to be pretty good behind the plate.
Got a good offensive year at AAA.
Yeah, didn't fade away. Down the stretch. Finished strong. Sends one out to left, but routine for Ozuna. Tagging, instead it's going to be the arm of Bader. That makes a lot of sense. That was a good idea. Just like you were talking about, Ozuna doesn't have the arm he had.
Right. You know, it's going to be a very tough play to throw anybody out anyway. But if the guy with a better arm can get there, you let him have it. And of course, Bader being the center fielder, once he says, I got it, then you have no choice. I mean, he's the lead dog out there. You got to pull up and let him make the catch.
So Stallings with a sac fly ties it at 1. Second RBI. Important to get at least one there with the pitcher coming up now. Towns driven in 3 this year. 3 hits. Reyes, the lead runner. Newman trails him. Both run well. A little flare to the outfield here. With 2 outs, probably plates are another run.
You're trying to throw him fastballs above the belt. A bit of a dangerous place, especially if he gets out over the plate a little. That's a ball you can poke to the outfield. Again.
Yeah, hit 0-2. You know, you think maybe just bury something in the dirt and see if he'll cut and miss, right? And then
yeah, I mean,
at least throw one that way.
My
right?
thing is make it. And if you get that breaking ball down, even if he makes contact, it's probably going to be a ground ball.
See what they do on 1-2. Playing catch, getting a favorable call there. Pirates do pick up the equalizer off the bat of Jacob Stallings. 1-1.
Indianapolis Indians spend the final month of the big league season here with the Buccos. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Well, Stan Cowles has been here long enough that he had Jamison Tyone in the minor leagues, and he discussed the qualities he saw in Jamison then that he took with him to be a successful big league pitcher now.
He was always going to make sure that he was going to cross his T's and dot his I's. He's the one guy that I've seen that I've always admired as far as he knew that he was going to pitch at this level and pitch well. He wasn't so much in a hurry. I'm pretty sure there's a part of him that was in a hurry to get here. But with him, it was always, I'm going to prepare myself for this opportunity.
And I don't think it's any surprise, Joe and Bob, when you look at Jamison Tyone and just how he goes about his business, not only in the days he starts, but the days between starts, and just how intentional he is with his work. And we've seen the results here so far in 3 big league seasons for Jamison Tyone, who's matured his way into one of the best starters here on this Pirates team.
Yeah, no doubt. And what Stan said, I think is what's really interesting is when Tyone missed those 2 seasons, he had Tommy John surgery, missed all of 14, was coming back in 15, had a hernia, and had to miss the rest of that season as well. There's Stan. But he never thought of that as missed time. He thought of that as such a blessing that he had time to step away from actively pitching, learn about the game, learn about himself, and use that time to, get smarter. And then when he came back to pitch, he felt like now he had grown during those 2 years rather than just using that as an excuse for lost time.
Yeah, he turned it into a positive, and that's who he is. That's his character.
And he's turned into 2 quick outs here in the second. Yeah, and that's why I think, when you and I are talking in February about the season that is going to be, that we said, we identified, okay, this is the year now Tyone is going to ascend to being an all-star. And I bet you in his private thoughts he thought the same thing. And he's pitched like one. He really has. Now it's just at the all-star break. There were a number of pitchers that might have had a better mark, but the way he's pitched this entire season, you'd certainly pick him for if there were an end of the year all-star team.
Yeah, the all-star thing is kind of a crapshoot at times.
Sure.
You got to be pitching well at the right time to get put on there, and it just didn't work out for him this year.
And that's okay. It just gives him another thing for which to strive.
Over the years, Doug Drabick was arguably the best pitcher we had for at least 5 years. Won a Cy Young with the Pirates. Never made the All-Star team. It was like just a weird deal that it just didn't happen for him. Didn't pitch right at the right time in front of the right guy. It's like winning one of those awards where it's voted on. You know, the right people,
subjective, right?
The right people that are voting, and they have to have you know, a certain picture of who you are if you want their votes.
I guarantee you there would be 29 other teams who would all not only want him, but he would be in that upper end of each of their rotations, including the very best.
Yep.
And so once you kind of run that through your head, you go, okay, Pirates got a good one. He's going to have a 1-2-3 inning. Kelly out to Frazier, and that's that. 10 pitches in the second. Knotted at 1-2. Look to rebound this week as they enter conference play. Georgia Tech comes to Heinz Field for an ACC Coastal matchup. And we'll have it for you right here on AT&T Sportsnet. Join us at 12:30 Saturday afternoon. Pitt and Georgia Tech right here on AT&T Sportsnet. Yellow Jackets to the black and gold. Some conflicted fans there. I like Clemente and I like the Cardinals. Okay. As long as you like the current Pirates too, that's just fine with us. And at the top of the order coming up in the third.
Let's see if we can make a little bit of a move right now. Top of the lineup up. Looks like, you know, Tyone, nice easy inning. That's when you want to jump out with another couple of runs against this youngster.
You're wondering if you're not seeing Yadier Molina. He's battling a hamstring concern. He is the Clemente Award winner for the Cardinals. Baseball will select its winner later on. Neal has the first out. And he was honored yesterday. Mozeliak with him.
In 2010, Yadier established Foundation 4 to benefit youth impacted by
having that
poverty,
ceremony before the
abuse,
game
and
last
cancer.
night. So Molina is expected to return, like Schultz was saying, on Monday, maybe sometime during this homestand. So the next series. You know, it's like seeing a cloudy day in Southern California. Oh wow, what is Molina's not behind the plate today. Well, he's banged up, so haven't seen him in the whole series.
Yeah, another guy we've missed that going to be activated tomorrow, Jed Jerko. I mean, he's activated today.
Yes.
I thought he was going to be Sunday or Thursday.
Activated today.
Oh.
Be limited to pinch hitting duty.
But he's always been tough against us.
Marte, a strikeout victim his first time around. Ponce de Leon not afraid to elevate the fastball. That's kind of been a baseball-wide trend over the last few years, right? These teams, pitchers and hitters return serve against one another. Not going to see Michael Walker this season, the bearded pitcher there. He's out for the year now. Tried to get it back going, but could not. So that's why guys like Ponce de Leon could be very important.
Yeah. You have to put a plan Bs, plan Cs.
Right now the Cardinals are in wild card position. They would, as it stands today, they would play the wild card game in Milwaukee against the Brewers. Of course, a lot could change here over the final 2.5 weeks.
You know, Wainwright with his first start in about, what, 4.5 months. I mean, it wasn't that great. So
and normally
who knows what they can expect from him.
And normally you'd say in a wild card game, that's a no-brainer, right? You go with that and Wainwright.
Well, yeah.
This year, I don't know.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Not now.
Probably set it up for Michaelis, I guess, right?
They hit some guys.
I mean, Flaherty's good,
well.
but you know, a rookie, maybe Michaelis. But I mean, he pitched in Japan the last 3 years. It's interesting. I mean, the Cardinals have a bit of a question there. A base hit for Marte. Cool thing coming up for the Pirates when they return home. It's Fan Appreciation Week presented by PNC Bank. September 17th through the 23rd. Pirates are offering complimentary tickets to several special groups like teachers, youth baseball, players and coaches, members of the U.S. military, veterans, first responders, nurses, a whole bunch of different groups. If you want to pay it forward or know someone that might be eligible for some of that, go to pirates.com/fan appreciation. Josh Bell struck out his first time. We were talking about the Cardinals trying to do some auditioning, so to speak, for either if they do make the division series, who's going to start for them, who would be maybe an important swing man for them. That's where the Pirates would not have those issues, and that's what to complement the Pirates pitching this year. Think about if we were talking about the Pirates going into a 1-game wild card setup. They've got, I mean, you can have a good argument. Who would you want for that 1 game? I mean, you have options. Who would you have in a 5 or 7 game playoff series? You've got options. Well, you need late inning relief to excel. So those types of components are installed here in Pittsburgh, and that's great. Now, it's not all there, but at least that pitching component has seemed to develop here as this season's moved on, and been acquired too. We saw Archer peeking in the background.
The foundation is in. Now you got to frame up the house.
There you go.
The way it is.
I like that. Yeah. And maybe even the frame of the house is there, but there's walls, there's a roof needed. Maybe a skylight.
I'm going to say the frame is in progress. I mean, I think they're still. The offense really needs to get.
No, I agree.
Get better.
Yeah, I agree. Because then okay, I've just had this contention. All right, let's talk about the offense, and you go, okay, all right, well, we were talking earlier about Ponce de Leon and his big league debut. He pitched 7 hitless innings against the Reds, and lately the Reds have been in the cellar in the division, but their lineup, how does that stack up for a postseason lineup? It would be a pretty good one.
Well, yeah, they framed the house on sand. They forgot the foundation.
Beautiful 6-bedroom house. east wing even with Suarez, right?
I think Pirates doing this right way. They got the foundation in, and that's what you need. They have to improve the offense, and they even have to, I think, improve the defense.
I agree. Yeah, we were talking about that when we began today.
There's work to be done in both those areas. I mean, the wild pitch situation is out of control.
That's kind of what it's
like,
born from.
It's like all the work that they've done trying to control the other team's running game has all gone down the drain because of the wild pitches. And, I mean, there's problems, and you got the offseason to try and work on them and come up with some ideas, things that they need to put in place. And obviously, the Pirates are aware of all this stuff we're talking about and more. I mean, we just know the tip of the iceberg stuff.
Yeah, that's I think when you summarize the year and where this team is going, you can see room for improvement, but it's not, you're not starting from scratch. Far from. So that's good. And even this year, you know, as we identified the team's strengths and flaws, they're 2 games under 500. They've been hanging around that 500 mark this season. That's not bad. Now, it's not going to get you the postseason, but it's not bad.
No, that's what good pitching will do for you.
And it keeps you in a lot of games.
Yep.
Well, we'll work the walk, and the Pirates extracting some pitches here from Ponce de Leon. He's at half 100 already.
At the top of the lineup, end up getting a couple guys on with just 1 out.
Mike Maddox is out. Say, fella. Maybe they're all growing mustaches to model after Mike Maddox.
That's probably what it is.
He's one of my favorite guys to talk to, Mike Maddox. I always enjoy a chat with him once in a while. Yeah, see, and they all have the hair underneath the lip too, just like Maddox. Now, Michaelis, he's been doing that all year.
Yeah, I think if they're copying anybody, it's Michaelis.
A chain reaction. Walker hasn't succumbed to that yet. Wainwright.
Yeah, that's why he's on the DL.
Guys, yeah, you know.
Shave that beard on. Leave the stash. Arm feel better.
Jordan Luplow with a base hit his first time. And the cleanup spot this afternoon.
There's some stuff to clean up out there. 2 men aboard.
Luplow with a good bit of power. Now this year,
kind of like O'Neill.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah, I think.
You're not a real big guy, but strong and can hit a ball a long way.
Yeah, Luplow 6'1", so yeah, by today's standards. O'Neill 5'11". But yeah, I mean, at least reminiscent. I was talking with his AAA manager, Brian Esposito, who's here with the Pirates and will be for the rest of the season. And Luplow reminds me in some ways of Chris Davis of the A's, where he was when he first came to the major leagues a little bit. You know, kind of that's a similar body build and easy power. And he'll roll a base hit. Marte with those good wheels, he's in easily. It's an RBI single for Luplow, and the Pirates mint their first lead of the afternoon.
Interesting throw home, wasn't it?
Well, I think you're more right than I was giving you credit for earlier.
Well, he's not going to throw out Marte. Anyway, I can't believe he. Look at that. Rainbow got all the way out of the shot.
That was a gateway arc.
Yeah, that was the arch right there. But I mean, he could have a cannon out there. He's not going to throw out Marte on a ground ball base hit, but he gave it a shot.
And no one advanced. You know, Bell's still at second, so no penalty for doing that. Kramer, strikeout victim, his first time. Just to finish that thought as Luplow trails there at first, you know, a lot of times when somebody reminds you of somebody, and I'm no scout, but you know, the things I was thinking about with Davis was, you know, he's not a very big guy in terms of height, but it, you know, had that easy power and, you know, broad shoulder kind of look like Luplow has. Time only tells.
No, I know one thing. Luplow is much more of a complete player. He can go out there with the glove and do some things for you to.
He played center field last night.
Help you win a game.
For the first time as a pro. Yeah, Davis very much an offensive only player. Ponce de Leon has struck out Kramer twice.
Well, one thing that you notice when you look at Kramer's minor league stats, he does strike out a lot.
Tyson Ross will probably come in the back of Ponce de Leon today. Former Padres starter. Pablo Reyes had a base hit his first time. Pirates with a couple of singles flanking the walk.
Bet you he gets his swings in here.
Got that bat high above his head. Wangling it.
Nice little leg kick. Wow, two perfect pitches against him.
Up to 300 in his brief stay. Now he reminds me of, you know, that you know, in Little League you try to fake out the pitcher. You know, you move the bat around a whole bunch. All right, I'm gonna hit you. You know, I'm gonna get a hit right here. This time Ponce de Leon gets the better. But the Pirates get the go-ahead run off the bat of Jordan Luplow. 2-1 Buccos. Check in on our Allegheny Health Network injury update for former Cardinal, the Angels Albert Pujols, having to undergo another surgery. This time a bone spur to be removed from his right elbow. He's 38 and had knee surgery at the end of August. 3 years remain on that robust 10-year free agent deal. But you know, I think when teams do that. They're trying to invest in the immediate. Well, we're seeing less and less of that now, I think. Teams are gravitating away from that. Of course, part of a World Series winner here. First major league hit for Daniel Ponce de Leon, and
Reyes made a rookie mistake. That's another thing. You're playing in these big league ballparks, the way the stands are. They almost all have a part that juts out next to the foul line. And you just can't assume that that ball is going to hit that and come out to you. If it misses it, it's going to the corner. And now you got to chase it down.
So for a first big league hit, a pitcher, Ponce de Leon has a triple.
Hey, Reyes assumed that was going to hit that part of the stands that jut out. He ran straight there. And then when it missed it, he turned in what was probably going to be a double. By trying to make the double a single, he made it a triple. But that, I think, Reyes plays with a lot of enthusiasm and tries to make all the plays. Remember the
Yes.
night that he called Cervelli off on a pop fly behind home plate.
There's one out. Yeah, on a ball that would have been the catcher's ball in any other time, but he was
right. I mean, that's an example of like just over enthusiasm. I mean, I'm sure when that ball was hit, he's thinking that's going to hit the stands right there. I'm going to go right. It's going to bounce right to me, and I'm going to stop that runner at first base. I'm going to make this great play. And I'm not saying that is bad or anything, but you have to, in the back of your mind, be, well, what if it doesn't hit that?
Popped him up. This isn't going to be deep enough. How about Tyone? 2 quick outs after a leadoff triple. Now fly ball can't score him.
Very surprised about the Carpenter hit. I wasn't paying attention to where the pitch was, but you know, he hit that into the shift with a runner at third and nobody out, and that side, the left side of the infield, all open. Why would he pull that ball?
Now you got to,
because you're trying to get something in the outfield. You hit the ball the other way, you're going to lift it. I think Carpenter, that was a big part of that inning, was getting Carpenter to pull the ball into the shift.
now Matt Adams going to get through him. He had a slider that was over the plate, but you know, low in the zone. I mean, that's a pitch that, yeah, he could still take his hands in a bit, get it out the other way. You're right. 2 strikes on Adams. You know, we were talking earlier about Tyone and praising him. Get that last.
There's the pitch to Carpenter, and that's kind of surprised he didn't try and go the other way. Hit it into the shift and made the out.
Hit well out to right. But Luplow able to take care of that, and even after a leadoff triple, it ends up being a 9-pitch inning for Jameson Tyone, keeping the Pirates in the lead.
for the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
Fourth inning, and the Pirates are in the lead here in St. Louis. Follow the race to the postseason on MLB.tv for $25.99. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv and take advantage of this limited time offer. It's another sunny day here in St. Louis. It has been nice weather. It's a second trip over the last few weeks here. And Taillon doing a great job last inning, stranding a leadoff triple and then doing it in quick fashion.
Pitch counts are so important nowadays to be efficient. And that's why he's one of just, what, a couple pitchers this year with multiple complete games.
I don't see it very often.
No, you gotta be thinking pitch count.
No, that won't happen today for Ponce de Leon. He's coming back out of the bullpen.
A lot of guys get carried away with trying to get strikeouts, and they waste, maybe a dozen pitches over the course of a game because they're going for a strikeout in a scenario where just an out, would be just fine.
Out to Bader. Newman is gone to start the fourth. Yeah, pitch counts, they dictate sometimes when you come out of the ballgame, not just performance. All right, your time's up type thing. One of those complete games that Taillon threw, as you see, Ponce de Leon into the 20s in a couple of those innings. That was that 10-hitter out in Colorado for Taillon. I really enjoyed that because, that used to be, I'm not going to say it was commonplace, but it was certainly not that unusual. If you had a big lead and your bullpen needed a break like the Pirates did that particular night, why not just keep going? And he was effective. He just, scattered a bunch of singles pretty much that night. Some of these marks of why he's ascended to being such a good pitcher. Getting out of a leadoff triple very quickly. Giving him his team 9 innings on a night where the bullpen needed some rest in a tough place to pitch. Now get him his first home run, right? That's all you need. Stallings trying to get on ahead of him.
Boy, just 89. Really aim that fastball in there.
Yeah, we're seeing some come in at 94.
Yeah.
Smashed but foul. There you go.
Supposed to be happy when that happens.
Maybe he's happy on the inside. Doesn't know it yet. Long takes one away from Stallings. 2 on with Taillon coming up. And now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Jameson Taillon getting out of that last inning rather quickly on 9 total pitches. Cardinals helped him out too, you think, right?
Carpenter did.
Had a good pitch on O'Neill, you think? Get him to pop up?
It wasn't a pitch you throw to get somebody to pop up, but he popped up on it. I don't really, unless you're going to throw a letter high fastball kind of in a little bit. Every pop up you get besides that is the hitter popping it up. It's like, you know, throwing a letter high fastball and getting a ground ball double play. I mean, I'm not going to say, well, hey, good job getting that ground ball. I mean, yeah, he got it, double play, innings over, but
that's usually
that's how baseball is.
Right.
That's, you know, the game of baseball. Sometimes you just get a bit lucky, and other times you're not lucky at all. You know, you make great pitches that by the book should work perfectly, and it didn't.
You talk about being unlucky, and you know, with Tyone last year, if you believe in the batting average on balls in play, he had one of the highest in any half of any season all time. I think that's probably what led us to believe that maybe this would be such a good season for him. He's got a 2-1 lead. He's back out to work.
St. Louis on a hot afternoon. I'm Robbie Ince-Mikowski here at Ballpark Village beyond left field. That's phase one back there. That was completed 4 years ago in 2014. On this side is phase two. It is under heavy construction right now and is the future site of a retail and entertainment complex. Also, a hotel and apartment complex is coming as well. It covers 700,000 square feet, guys, at a cost of $260 million. And maybe by the time we come back here next season, it'll all be completed and we can go check it out. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds great, Robbie. You know, maybe some good weather. They could keep on building. And, you know, I'm curious, Robbie, how much more they're going to be doing, what other stuff they're going to be doing around here. Yeah.
So you see that crane right there. That is just beyond left center field. That is the future spot of a 29-story, 297-unit luxury apartment tower that's in the process of being constructed. So who knows how long that is going to take. But you guys might be able to put your down payments on that, so you have a little pad here overlooking the ballpark before and after you go to games. What do you guys think about that one?
On the site of the old Busch Stadium.
So phase one completed 4 years ago. The attendance in Cardinals Nation actually counts as part of the official ballpark attendance, and the surrounding area, really, it is something to see when you come out here. Really, it's a spectacular place, and who knows how good it's going to look next season when we come back.
Yeah, it's changed the backdrop of this new stadium quite a bit. I didn't know that, too, about the attendance. They count those seats. That might be the only place that they count the attendance across the street, but it looks like it's part of the ballpark, but it's across that street there. You know, this seems to be the theme going, right? I mean, you know, new ballparks, they try to rejuvenate a part of the city, and usually with some sort of residence and, you know, mixed use businesses and things like that, and the Cardinals trying to follow suit.
Yeah, I think that's one of the selling points of you know, trying to get public money for a new stadium is what it will do to the area around. And it took them a while to get anything going here. I mean, for a long time that was just an empty lot. out there.
That's inside Ballpark Village there. You can watch the game. That will be, you know, especially on a weekend nights, that is jam-packed. Right now everybody's inside the stadium that's interested or at work. But yeah, I mean, I hope it works quite a bit like we've seen in a lot of the other cities, because you know, it's kind of quiet down here. You know, people come in, they go to work, and then they go back out.
Colorado, a great example of what can happen. You know, that
San Diego,
nothing down there, a bunch of warehouses and stuff,
and once it kind of starts, you know, and if it's successful, then it really exponentially grows. So you know, you think about when Three Rivers was raised, they built the two stadiums, and then it's taken some time, but now you know, in between the two and around the ballpark and over by Heinz too. I mean, there's so much down there that wasn't there, you know, 20 years ago. So pretty cool to see. Time starting to settle in here on this St. Louis afternoon. That's going to change that skyline too, with that big apartment building in front of that glossy office building.
you won't be able to see the shiny building very well.
As long as you can see the arch,
the parking garage will be kind of blocked. It will be different. I hope it's a nice looking building. It'll be right there in front and center. It's like they have to climb that ladder every day to get in that crane to go to work. That's a long climb.
They don't have an elevator for that?
I don't see an elevator there, no.
Oh boy.
I see a big ladder.
What if you forget something?
Nice catch. That's what we're talking about. We were just discussing about how he can bring the glove. He can win games for you with his glove out there. It's not just all about offense.
Jordan Luplow. Headlong dive, and he needed to get every inch to make that inning-ending grab. Jameson Tyone likes Luplow's grab right there. Thanks, buddy.
And really a great diving catch. This is the diving catches when you see outfielders make that, you know, is meaningful. It's not that, you know, feet first type, just sliding to slide. When you go head first and reach in front of you, that ball's not going to be caught any other possible way.
That is, you know, he needed every inch to get there. That was the only way he could make that play, and he did.
And, you know, you have to make that decision and sell out to that. There's no going at it half-hearted. Dead sprint. You're just leaping forward as far as you can and hope you can slide that glove underneath the baseball before it hits the grass.
And it's not like he was an outfielder, you know, his whole life or anything like that. He was a third baseman in high school. His first year in pro ball, he was a third baseman. And converted to the outfield. So this is his third year playing the outfield, and he's looked good. Frazier sends one high to right. O'Neill gonna have just enough. I thought maybe he could sneak it into that corner.
Well, the fence kind of comes in there. They got that angled part, so it certainly had a chance, but he had to hit it right down the line.
That was a towering fly ball.
I'm going to pull this just a little more. See the angle on the fence just as it approaches that foul pole. Foul pole's what, 335. That's probably about the exact distance that fly ball went. Looked like he was right even with it as he made that catch.
Now Marte, 1 out of 2. Statcast says it went 330. So yeah, that's I mean that's a good estimate right there.
5 foot short then.
Yeah. Dribbler. That was a good little feed. Adams to Ponce de Leon. That's trickier than most when you got Marte hustling down.
Yeah, when Marte's going down the line, you don't have a lot of time to do things in a traditional way. Adams with a little backhand toss.
I got to get rid of this. Anything that doesn't go right, Marte's safe. That's 7 in a row sent down by Ponce de Leon. They had activity in the bullpen back in that 3rd inning. Bell has walked today. Couple of doubles, couple of home runs in his last 4 games, 7 hits in total. Starting to feel like, okay, he's, you know, if he's come up a couple of times and doesn't have one yet, he's due for a hit. Like we have, you know, seen periodically with different guys. Bell included earlier this year. He was on a pretty good stretch prior to his DL stint. I think, like you said earlier, you know, this is, and it's only been a few games right now, but you know, this may be one of the most consistent times we've seen him drive the ball, you know, 2-3 times, you know, 2 or 3 at bats a game here, several games in a row.
Yeah, he needs to be that power guy. Big, strong, plays a corner spot in the infield.
Yeah, there have been very few first basemen that you know don't at least hit for a good deal of power. Now Bell didn't run on that. And
There's
so
a foul. It went off his foot.
Right. So you're thinking, okay, well, what happened? But Las Diaz, the first base umpire, called him out.
Well,
Andy Fletcher didn't see that and didn't call a foul ball right away. Well, now Bell is struck out, and the inning is over. One in the series finale in St. Louis. Bottom third of the Cardinals order. The only base runner since the first against Tyone was Ponce de Leon's triple right down the left field line. Jed Jerko has a bat in the Cardinals dugout, so Ponce de Leon probably going to be done.
Pitch count.
Yeah, he's been in and out of the bullpen, so they're probably happy to get what they got out of him. Mike Myers is getting up in the bullpen. He was recently activated from the DL as well. There's Jerko, just activated today, so a couple of guys coming back.
And that first day I saw that they were going to activate him Thursday, and my thought was, well, thank goodness we don't have to face him. But there he is.
Yeah, probably just for one at bat, though. He's had a groin strain that he suffered against the Pirates.
Had him out here yesterday running the bases. I guess he passed with flying colors, so they put him out there today.
Or with expanded rosters this time of year, colors.
Good block. Pointing out the good blocks. Not talking about you.
And a good grab by Kramer. And Bader with too much speed.
Bader can motor.
Pretty good play by Kramer.
I think he was probably a little fooled when he made a nice catch, and you could see as he got up, he was like, "Oh, I got to hurry."
Maybe for a veteran third baseman that knows guys a little bit. I mean, even though Bader's fairly new to the game, but I would imagine the game slows down for a guy after the first week of the major leagues, right? I mean, little by little.
Well, yeah, but
I mean
that play there is more of, in my mind, it's more of, okay, we got a real fast guy at the plate, everything I have to do, I got to speed up. If you're a middle infielder, you got to take a step in. You can't play back where you normally are. There's a lot of guys like that. You know, Marte on our team. You can't play a deep shortstop against him.
Kelly with the bunt. Kramer with another good play. Moving him into scoring position with 1 out.
A nice off-balance throw right on the money.
And Kramer over at third base. That's been a relatively new position for him. He had not played there as a pro until this season. Played 1 year as a freshman in college over there 5 years ago, but looked good in this inning. So they'll go with Greg Garcia instead, a left-handed batter, their lone lefty off the bench.
Their favorite pinch hitter.
Now oft used. So Myers waiting for his action. He'll be next. Also De Leon gave him 5 innings. And a speedy Bader at second. Even with 1 out, he could score on a base hit to the outfield. Garcia, not much of a power hitter, but like you said, I mean, you know.
Well, they're looking to get a base hit with speed at second. Lock in the tying run.
8 for 44 as a pinch hitter. Ready to throw home if needed. Bader takes off for third. He's safe.
He used that speed to get himself on base, and now uses the speed to get to third with still just 1 out. Very close play. Boy, did he come off the bag? He comes off the bag for a very small second there, but I don't know if Kramer had the tag on him the whole time. Apparently not. Pirates are not stopping play at all.
Infield will come in. And Garcia strikes out. He wanted at least an appeal. But Andy Fletcher said he swung, and that's the 2nd out.
Then Tyone comes up big with the runner at third base. 1 out. Needs a strikeout. Take a look at it from the side. Watch the bat. Yep.
Well, this is nothing new for Tyone. He's one of the league leaders. When there are men in scoring position, opponents hit 190 against him.
We'll watch that hit first slide again. There's a moment where it looks like his hand comes off and his knee is not there yet. It's like his elbow and his arm comes off and the knee is not quite there, right there. But I don't know if the glove is touching him.
Yeah, it's not definitive, but that was a good eye, Bob. I didn't notice that.
He had like about a ½ inch of space on the wrist and the knee, but was the glove touching him at that moment? Those are the things that they look for on those anymore on those close tag plays. If you can stop it and freeze it and see leather touching the runner and even just a little tiny bit of daylight, he's out.
Now Towns going to get through Matt Carpenter. With 2 outs now, the infield can back up. Move into a shift for the lefty swinger. He has walked and scored the lone Cardinals run. Look at the ground ball chart there. Yeah, he's going to hit the ball on the ground on the left side, or the right side, I should say. Pull it.
Now, this is a different scenario than last time he was up with a man at third. Then there was nobody out. Or, you know, a fly ball to left field would have paid dividends. But now with 2 outs, yeah, he's got to knock the run in with a base hit. So he's doing whatever he thinks he can do to get a hit. Just a fly out is not going to cut it. Hook.
Down the line.
Thank you.
And your wish is granted. He is the league leader with 35 home runs.
You know, it's weird how we talk about the wins and losses at this point of the season are not the important thing. It's about, but when it's a close game like this, it's still all you're thinking about. Don't let that tying run get in.
Yeah, I guarantee you, to the 9 that are standing on that field now, that's all they're thinking about.
Well, you're right, but as far as the evaluation, watching the game.
Right into that shift. Played him perfectly. And Frazier gets the soft liner to end it. Another man left stranded against Jamison Tyone.
On AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. Our service centers are now open evenings and weekends. Visit barrelservice.com for more. And by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. Let's go Bucks!
Now the legendary Jack Buck. You can see Harry Carey in the picture. Behind him, some of the Mike Shannon off to the right there in the photo. The legendary Cardinals broadcasters, players here, a manager in case of Whitey Herzog, who managed Clint Hurdle. Go crazy, folks. Of course, you can still hear Jack's son Joe broadcast some of the most meaningful baseball games around.
Well, my favorite, Jack Buck, was listening to him and Hank Stram. That's what,
doing football.
Yeah, I used to listen to that all the time. Monday night football games, you live out in California, they come on a lot earlier.
Dinner time.
So we're always sitting around the TV at that hour. So a lot of times I listen to the first part of the game. I'm, outside doing something, and be on the radio with Jack Buck and Hank Stram.
And now Mike Myers.
Nothing out of the ordinary there. I think pretty good shape.
Last time he pitched, it was in a playoff game for Memphis. This is his first game back with the Cardinals. Had some right shoulder inflammation.
That would cause some discomfort.
And Jordan Luplow is 3 for 3 today. A leadoff base hit.
Yeah, I like the fact that even though that was just, it's kind of a routine single to right field.
Hit it where it's pitched.
But watch the enthusiasm going down the line hard. And he still takes a fairly aggressive turn going around first base, looking for something to happen out there.
Out of Fresno State, Jordan Luplow. Luplow was teammates in college and still remains good friends with Aaron Judge. I think we need to talk about some guys with some power.
Wondering if Judge will be ready for the postseason.
Yeah, that's a big question mark for the Yankees.
It has taken him forever to get well. It's been a couple of months now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Myers right there at 98. Looks like the shoulder is coming back in form. Kramer today struck out both times against Ponce de Leon. He went the first 5. Luplow, not much of a base stealer, but certainly capable if the opportunity presents itself. Stole 7 at Indy this year. First major league 3-hit day for him. '99 for Myers. Kramer on strikes for the 3rd time this afternoon. So 1 out. We invite you to make your plans for the final Zambelli fireworks night of the season. Coming up next Friday, September 21st, when the Pirates host the Milwaukee Brewers. It's a 7:05 start. Stay after the game. Fireworks will light up the Pittsburgh skyline. Make sure you get your tickets at pirates.com/fireworks. Pablo Reyes hit 2 trips today. Make it 2 out of 3. And Luplow reading that very well. He was already at second base when that ball hit the ground.
No taking pitches this time. Reyes went up there very aggressive. He picked one off the top of the strike zone. He's swinging.
Hit 284 at AAA this year.
Luplow got a good break off there, but that's a line drive, one hopper to the right fielder who has a good arm. You're going to stop at second.
Yeah, but you pointed out though that today running the bases, and he's done that a lot with his 3 hits, but he's put himself in position to take that extra base if something goes
wrong.
awry.
There was a little bit of a bobble out there, boy, he's a third. He didn't just jog over to second thinking, okay, guy's got a good arm, I can't go anywhere.
These are kind of the things that, I guess I'm sure the Pirates are looking at when they try to characterize these players.
And most young guys do that. It's guys that have been around a while. They start taking things for granted. Most of you younger players, I mean, they're going as hard as they can go every second they're on the field.
I really liked last night what Josh Bell did. Beginning the 9th inning, Pirates are down 10 runs and hit a ground ball, and he found himself, he was out by a half step. He's going to be out unless something weird happens, but he was hurtling down that line. And I thought that was, he's been around a few years now, and it's nice to see that kind of stuff when that happened. Off the glove of Myers, and that slows it down enough for Newman. The base is full of buccos.
And Newman runs very well, so the pitcher's not going to be able to run back almost to the edge of the grass behind him and make any kind of a play. Well, he had it right there to catch, too. That was right in front of him.
So 3 singles in the inning.
Great opportunity now.
They had the athletic trainer out to inspect his glove to see if it was okay.
No damage?
No damage. Jacob Stallings going to come in.
It looks okay to me.
Yep, straight laced. Jacob Stallings has driven in a run today on a sac fly back in the 2nd. Pirates have bunched their hits together. They have 8. All have come in 3 different innings. So looking for that extra base hit though today. Had 8 singles. Tyone is in the on deck circle.
A base hit to right center here. Maybe even just right field. There it is. Nice take. Too far away.
And your trailing runners, as now the lefty Tyler Webb is getting up. The trailing runners with good speed, so on a base hit, Luplow's going to score for 3rd, but Reyes might have a chance, like I said. Let's hit out toward right there. Newman from 1st if it hits a gap. Two on Jacob Stallings. 6'5" Pirates catcher.
Probably not too many 6'5" catchers around.
And he grounds one through the middle. Luplow is in. Reyes will score a 2-run single for Jacob Stallings. 3 RBIs today.
I noticed he was choking up there. 2 strikes. Just wanted to make sure he makes solid contact. Give himself a chance to find the hole, and right back up through the middle, right over the mound. Well, we were talking about him earlier, having a good, solid offensive year at AAA.
Yeah, the bunt. Tyone is out, but he moves up the runners. That's the second out.
Coro with the windmill. Reyes, good speed. No problem getting home on that ground. Single to center.
And a bit of a nightmarish outing for Mike Myers. Pirates with 2 across here in the 6th.
By the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Jamison Tyone now has a little bit more run support. 4-1. Jacob Stallings has driven in 3 today. Familiar face, trying to get out of a sticky situation.
16 innings, 14 games.
Tyler Webb was in the Pirates spring training last year. 2nd and 3rd with 2 away for Frazier. Got a favorable call there.
Would you say it's been a fairly wide strike zone today? There's been a few of those
Yesterday
calls
was a little
out wide.
erratic as well. Thought Manny Gonzalez was spot on though on Monday. Popped him up. That's been rare for Frazier in those RBI situations. Well, Pirates pick up a pair. Jacob Stallings. 3 RBIs today. And that ground single that got through puts the Pirates up 4-1 here in St. Louis. Thank you, Rob. And Jose Ramirez is something else. 4-1 Pirates on the UPMC scoreboard. Jacob Stallings has driven in 3 of those. Two, 3, and 4 hitters against Jamison Tyone here. An efficient pitch count. Right underneath it. Some quick outs, 1 away. This is the series finale here. The Pirates tomorrow will be off, but look at our Nissan road ahead. It will be the Brewers in Milwaukee, the next foes. And one of the newer Brewers, Gio Gonzalez, the left-hander, against Chris Archer on Friday. The action begins for you at 7:30 Saturday night. Nova versus Davies, and then Williams and Miley in the Sunday matinee. And right now, these Brewers, there's Archer. Brewers are his next target. For the Milwaukeeans, they're up a game and a half on the Cardinals right now for the right to host the wild card. But the division has not been decided. The Cardinals are only 3.5 back of the Cubs.
Yeah, it's kind of been going back and forth. There was a while there, probably about 10 days ago or so. I thought the Cardinals were looking real good, and maybe the Brewers are going to go the other direction. And nope.
Yeah, it's interesting when you see this tie out here. Look at this.
95 right across the birdies.
He's at 70 pitches here with 2 outs in the 6th. He's got a lead.
Could be looking complete game.
The Pirates have talked about, being a little bit more conservative innings-wise with their guys, but Tyone has kind of earned that right now to stretch himself out some. So I think I would rule that out. If he keeps pitching efficiently, or at least get down the road some. Tyone entering today 15 more innings than he's ever pitched as a professional. So I don't know. There's so many theories on, is there a magic number to manage the innings count for a progression and all that stuff. I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to it, but just to point that out. So this is definitely going to be the most innings that he's pitched in his career. Williams also getting to that point. Musgrove has gotten to that point after his start yesterday. Up to Reyes, fighting the sun. Reyes wins.
Another easy inning.
Very tidily done by Tyone. 1. And students, you can get access to all the remaining September games for just $22. Your standing room only ticket gets you in, and you can watch the game wherever you want. The Jim Beam left field lounge, the rotunda, any other standing room area that you wish. Go to pirates.com/students. Come on out for that final week beginning on Monday. Well, the proposal. Ozuna trying to talk him into it or out of it, I'm not sure.
Leon Dominic.
Look at the lion's share of the 7th with Marte, Bell, and Luplow due to bat. Marte with a single back in the 3rd. Pirates have collected 9 singles today, but have bunched them together. Jacob Stallings has driven in 3. Jordan Luplow with his 3 hits has driven in a run. High into that light blue sky. Colton Wong, the native of Hawaii, plenty familiar with that. One for 4 day for Marte. Bell has had a pair of strikeouts flanking a walk that he had back in the 3rd.
Get in one here.
He has done as you have ordered.
He made good solid contact, hit it pretty hard.
A hit is a hit. Now 1 for 3 day, right?
That really is the whole thing about hitting it. How many times a game do you put in the barrel to the ball and hitting the ball fair? You know, I mean, that's all it's about.
Give yourself
not
a chance.
You can't really, you know, lift the ball into the air and all that kind of stuff. Put the barrel on the ball as many times you can on fair balls, and then whatever is going to happen is going to happen. Average with balls put in play, and they'll all even out somewhere. But you got a better chance if you're hitting it hard.
Jordan Luplow today, 3 singles. First career 3-hit day for Luplow, bidding for another. Luplow, 3rd-round pick of the Pirates 4 years ago. Really shot through the system last season. You know, in 2016 he played the whole year in Bradenton and made it to the big leagues last year.
And you know, right now we don't know anything, but we do know that Polanco has a very sore shoulder right now. And what is going to happen with that in the offseason?
Maybe get a better update from the Pirates today. Our weekly injury discussion. But yeah, if there's anything that could hinder anything for next season, well, you know, obviously Luplow could factor in. He was, before the Pirates picked up Corey Dickerson, just as spring training began this year, he was penciled in, to get some significant playing time. Good guy to have around. Kevin Kramer.
All right, Kevin.
Got 5 Ks today. Kevin Well, 2 in his name and the 3 that he had at the plate today. Trying to get that turned around. He's had a, you know, we were talking about him beginning the broadcast. I think you put it in a good way how you said the ball kind of comes off his bat with some sock to it. I mean, it's a little different than some guys.
Well, a lot of that I think is because I mean, he's getting out there and trying to get in front of that ball, trying to pull it, hit the ball hard, and that will lead to some swings and misses because you're trying to get out in front and really hit the ball hard. You're not feeling for the ball.
Does that leave him susceptible to off-speed stuff? Is that, or is that just?
No,
like
it does.
Yeah.
And then you have a danger of, you know, worrying about the off-speed stuff, and then you start getting caught in the middle. You're not quick enough to get to the fastball, but you're still a little too fast for the off-speed stuff.
So are these parts of the adjustments that we always talk about with, you know, young hitters? And
well,
it seems like so many of them go through certain things like that.
You look at his minor league stats and the stats this season. I haven't looked back through his minor league, just his stats this season. And they're pretty good. You know, 15 home runs, 300 batting average, but you do see a lot of strikeouts. So to me, I bet you he tries to pull a lot. I would imagine that's where some of the problems with strikeouts. You know, if you're staying back and waiting a long time to commit to your swing, you're not going to chase very often.
And Leon strikes him out for the 4th time today. Still cutting his teeth here at the big league level. Pirates still own the lead here in the stretch. Jameson Taillon pitching a beauty here today. Just 3 hits. A first inning run. And at just 74 pitches here entering the 7th. Really playing the role of stopper today.
He'd been playing that role for a while now. He has really got himself established. The man. What'd you say? How many games with giving up just 3 runs or less?
3 earned runs or fewer. There are only 4 pitchers in baseball that have had more starts than that, and they're all the guys that, you know, want
that you're going to bring up before the year that might win Cy Youngs.
Yeah,
they're those names.
Yeah, Max Scherzer, Jacob deGrom, Justin Verlander, and Aaron Nola. They're the only guys that have more than the 25 offered by Taillon. Very consistently good. And we've said this time and time again, but it's true. You know, the difference between the guy that's you know, maybe a pinch hitter or maybe a long man in the bullpen and the guy that fronts the rotation is just the consistency at which they do what they do. Everybody's capable of getting big league hitters out or
you'll see
hits.
You'll see a number 5 guy with a 6 ERA go out and throw 7 shutout innings every now and then. But it's the Tyones of the world that are, you know, all the time. The consistency there is, you're shocked when it doesn't happen.
You remember former Cardinal John Smoltz? Right?
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
Part of the Red Sox history as well. Former Minnesota Twins Steve Carlton was a former teammate of yours as well.
That's a good one there. Yeah.
Guys at the end of their careers hanging on, right?
I remember having a spring training at bat off Minnesota Twin Steve Carlton.
How'd you do against lefty?
I flew out, and I remember thinking, lefty needs to retire.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much there.
Yeah, once in a while you see those guys. You know, I was talking to a reporter friend of mine that was telling me he follows Ichiro very closely. Ichiro will probably attempt to play again next season.
Remember Jim Palmer tried to make a comeback. Remember that?
Yeah, he was 45. He had already been retired for 5 years.
Yeah, and he came back. I don't think he made it into the season, but he
did
came
pitch in
back
spring training.
And pitched in spring training. I think I have a memory of him pitching in McKechnie.
That was in 1990. If I remember correctly. But right about then.
I guess it was McKechnie back then, so it's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you know, the comeback tries.
It's hard
this season.
to take that uniform off.
Yeah, the Mariners are going to open the season in Japan, so at the very least maybe with an expanded roster for that series. So maybe that at the very least will permit him to play some more Major League Baseball. Two and two on Colton Wong. Tyon has allowed 3 hits. A little off the end of the bat single by Ozuna in the first. A leadoff triple by Daniel Ponce de Leon, the Cardinals starting pitcher. And an infield hit to Harrison Bader that his speed was able to beat out. That's been it. And that's the second walk he's issued today.
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, Tyon right away when he saw Wong go, he asked the umpire, like, what's the count? And the umpire was like, don't worry, he'll be coming back.
That was a nice sales job.
Yeah. Tyon was like, what's he doing?
Who says you can't steal first?
Yeah, that was a nice attempt at it.
Aha. And so Tyon wins that battle. I would like to see you if someone did that to you. What'd you do with the next pitch?
What's he doing? I'd probably walk him.
And that would probably draw the ire of the
3 ball counts were not my friend.
Yeah.
I avoided him at all costs.
You can't get to ball 4 if you
never get to ball 3.
Yeah. Bader with an infield hit his last time around. Tyon has just done another fantastic job today. When he has had a rough situation, he's been making the pitches to get out of it. And he has retired 9 in a row now since the Bader hit. He's just cruising through 7 here in St. Louis. this one on our Allegheny Health Network Supermo. And the Cardinals seeing red. They're down 4-1 to the Pirates as we begin the 8th inning. Jameson Taillon has pitched fantastically today. Next up on the list, Brett Cecil. .6.5 ERA for the left-hander. Pablo Reyes with a pair of singles today. Newman with 2 hits, and then the 3 RBI day for Stallings. That's who's due up here, bottom of the order. Doing a number on the Cardinals pitching today. 10 hits for the Pirates, all singles. Cecil is in year 2 of a 4-year contract with the Cardinals. And the Cardinals trying to figure out, you know, who can get left-handed batters out. You know, usually it's a lefty that does that, not always, but usually. But the Cardinals are going to go to Bud Norris, their deposed closer now. He's got good numbers against lefties this year, but he's going to be the next guy that they're going to try in that role for now. Mike Schilt was telling reporters today. You know, Molina's ready to get back in. He's missed this entire series. After the leadoff walk, might see the exuberant Reyes moving around the bases. Newman a pair of singles today. The last of which hit off the glove of the pitcher. Reyes with 16 steals down at AAA. Was thrown out 7 times.
Good hit and run count.
Yeah. Trying to add to this lead.
I was just saying that if you don't want to try and straight steal. And with Newman up there, you know, find out, you know, how good is he, you know, handling that bat. You know, Jordy Mercer probably the best hit and run guy we got.
I was just thinking that, you know, if the shortstop doesn't have to bat 8th, but if Mercer is not back with the Pirates next season, who does bat 8th? And he's been in that role. And that is an important role in the National League lineup. So does Newman, for instance, or somebody else have the capabilities to hit in that spot? The other way, one of those lower boxes. Bring your glove.
Nice catch. Very proud of that snag. Give it a little shake.
Impressing everybody in the area. And a lot of attention to Reyes over there, especially for a left-handed pitcher. Count full on Newman after a leadoff walk to Reyes. Cecil has had a hard time in his 2 seasons with the Cardinals. Stallings with 3 RBIs today on deck. Reyes on the move. They have to retreat. O'Neill comes up with the first out.
Taillon comes out on deck.
And Taillon in the on deck circle. 89 pitches, 7 innings. Wonder if they would pinch hit next. Who's on deck? He's not going to come up. Stallings into an inning ending 4-6-3 double play. Taillon back out the pitch here in the 8th. Pitching into the 8th today, and boy, he's been sterling again.
Yes, he has. He's done everything that you could ask. He's gotten out of a couple little bit of problems. You know what? He looks like Jameson Taillon.
If he hasn't made a name for himself already,
that's kind of saying something right there. He's already become somebody that we're going to start comparing people to.
Yeah.
The consistency of what he brings out there every time he goes to the mound.
He's gotten out of jams a few times that the Cardinals have had those situations, and rather easily. He's made it look that way, at least.
Now they got bullpen action right now. About to throw his 90th pitch, so they're going to keep a very close watch on him this inning.
He has Kelly, a pinch hitter, as Richard Rodriguez gets up, and then Matt Carpenter due 3rd.
Jerko out on the on-deck circle.
Yeah, that's never fun to watch him lurking out there. Just activated from the DL today.
Went on the DL last time we were here.
Yeah, the groin concern.
Yeah. hit what was a contested home run. Remember that? I can't remember now which way it went. They called it a home run, and then they decided it was a double, right?
Yeah.
After they looked at it.
And that has been decided to be a leadoff free pass to Kelly. 9 in a row had been sent down by Tyone. Paul DeYoung will come up and bat instead. As Jerko has been a decoy a couple times.
A decoy?
Yeah, I guess.
Not a Cardinal, he's a Duck.
So instead of a decoy, it's DeYoung. He's been bringing them in lately. 232 overall. Stallings will come out. It has been very little trouble for Tyone, who worked around a leadoff triple in the 3rd inning. Didn't allow anything to come across. Now Felipe Vasquez also joining Richard Rodriguez, which would make me think with Carpenter the lefty next. If there is 1 out, do they go to Vasquez for 5 outs? It's been done before this year.
Oh yeah.
Certainly if it gets down to Adams. I think that way.
The only reason they wouldn't do that is what you were talking about earlier, trying to be very conservative with the pitching here this last month. And make sure it goes in the off season with no discomfort.
One and two. Carpenter, the home run leader in the National League. He scored the only Cardinal run back in that 1st inning. No one over there. And no play.
And the Pirates are, look where Frazier is. Look how close he is to second base bag. So when this ball is bounced over that direction, the only person that could really get that ball is Bell.
And so a walk and just a little bouncer that in the conventional defense would have been a double play ball. And so Clint Hurdle will pull Tyone after 7+ today. So he gave him the 8th. And with 6 outs to go and Carpenter coming up, indeed it looks like they are going to bring in Vasquez for or at least the 8th inning. We'll see. He's going to face Carpenter. Great outing for Jameson Tyone. And the Pirates lead by 3. forward to the whole true moment later in today's game. Cheers to Jameson Taillon.
Well deserved. Now the rehash begins. You sit over there and talk about what just happened.
Vasquez on here with nobody out in the 8th inning to try to negate lefty Matt Carpenter. Trying to get 6 outs with a 3-run lead. If indeed they want him to get all 6. Kelly, the lead runner, not fast. DeYoung, about an average runner at first. Nice to have a guy like Vasquez when the tying run comes to play.
Oh yeah, he's been incredible. What a find.
And those numbers keep getting better. Remember, April and May weren't all that outstanding for him, but
and even in spring training in March, he didn't look like he was himself as far as the stuff, the velocity.
Last 3 months in ERA at .81. Up to left, Corey Dickerson just in the ball game on the double switch, and he's got the first out. Runners stay put. So no matter what happens this inning, Jameson Taillon's going to come out of this game with 3 earned runs or fewer. He's done that now in 19 consecutive starts, the first Pirate to do that since Bob Friend back in 1963. That's how consistently good Jameson Taillon has been. That's
pitching as well as one of the Pirate greats.
Yeah.
But,
and they have that same moniker bestowed upon him in years to come. Tyler O'Neill, another power threat. Not the household name Carpenter is yet, but between AAA and the Cardinals this year, 34 home runs, including one last night. You know, even if you just use Vasquez for the 8th and it gets out of this, I love the call of using Vasquez here. I mean, this is where the game hangs in the balance the most. Their best hitters are up. Jose Martinez out on deck. Popped him up. Just into the game, into that sun field and left.
wow.
All Taillon can do is watch right now.
Yep. Nothing to say about it. Just lost it in the sun. He saw right away. He's fighting and he couldn't find it. And then when it came out of the sun, he realized he was not even close to being in the right spot.
That's a single. And the bases are loaded. The go-ahead run comes to the plate. Jose Martinez going to pinch hit for Matt Adams, the left-handed batter, because Vasquez basically limits lefties to just about nothing. .305 overall, and their top RBI man. One for 3 with a home run lifetime against Vasquez. Slowly hit, and they'll just get one. Kelly comes across. It's a 4-2 game. Martinez a run batted in. Well, now 2 outs in a 2-run game.
We have a pinch runner for Martinez.
The Cardinals, with these seemingly limitless rosters, will use their young star pitcher Jack Flaherty to pinch run. Ozuna 1 for 3. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. Ozuna lifetime 0 for 6 against Felipe Vasquez. To see if the Pirates can maintain this late lead here in St. Louis. That 8th inning has been troublesome in this series. The Cardinals have scored 11 runs in the 8th in this series, including the one here this afternoon.
You know, yesterday it was, you know, mainly all the call-up guys, but they're going with their frontline pitchers today. Can't get much better than Taillon and Vasquez.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the inning would be over right now. Caught that routine fly ball to left. And we mentioned that several times today, even in the open, about the defense.
Yeah, whether it's
very important.
A ball lost in the sun, or a physical error, or a mental error.
That's still all. It's all defense.
It's all defense. And now 2-2.
Wild pitches. I mean, there's a whole lot of different things you could put into the defense category.
Unforced errors.
That contribute to the other team scoring runs that they aren't doing for themselves.
Lead runner. Paul DeYoung at third. Jack Flaherty, a pitcher, pinch running for Jose Martinez. Bounce right to Bell. And that will be that. So Vasquez comes on. A run does come across as the Pirates maintain the lead. It's now 4-2.
brought to you by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Jamison Tyone with a great afternoon, putting the Pirates in a chance to get one here in St. Louis. They got one in the 8th. 4-2 the score now. 9th coming up.
You know, Stallings has caught a couple of dandies in a row now.
And he's driven in 3 today, so not only being a good backstop, but providing most of the Pirates' offense today.
I think it was it Nova, his last start, that Stallings was behind the plate, did a nice job.
Dickerson in the game last inning had a hard time with that sun in left, and no sunglasses on the eyes for Ozuna, but he was able to find it.
Yeah, what's he need sunglasses for?
They look good. Chasen Shreve is on the mound.
11 home runs in 48 innings. That seems like a lot, doesn't it?
It's because it is. Yeah, lefties have slugged .577 against him this season. So basically everybody's an all-star. Every lefty has been an all-star against him. Frazier was 0 for 4 last night before doubling in the 9th.
What are they hitting off of?
Slugging .577. Lefties are against a left-handed pitcher.
You can almost go beyond all-star and go to Hall of Famer.
Yeah, if you did that for a career, sure. It's a
big number.
A lot of power. Cardinals have used all 3 of their lefties today in hopes of finding something. Now even up on Frazier. Now the Cardinals are making a slew of changes as Munoz moves over from short. He's playing at third base now. Paul DeYoung had come in, and he's now at shortstop. And Matt Carpenter swings over across the diamond to play first base. They got their defense set.
Got their hands team in there. They're looking for an onside kick.
And there's no activity in the Pirates' pen, so it looks like the Pirates would continue to use Vasquez for the 9th inning. Either way, I thought it was great to see the Pirates go to Vasquez in the 8th, because in the olden days of yore, you have a lefty. Here comes 2 out of the next 3 lefties, tough home run hitters. You got men on base. This is your best reliever. This is the time to use him with the tying run coming to play and nobody out.
One of the things that Chuck Tanner used to talk all the time about it, that, after he had retired, but we talk about the way bullpens are used and the way the difference is. And one of his favorite things to say is that, and it's perfectly, absolutely true, is the game can be saved in the 8th inning just as easy as it can in the 9th. In fact, even more so at times. I mean, that's you have to be able to realize that now's the time the game's on the line. It might be just an easy 1-2-3 inning in the 9th, nothing.
Yeah.
But it might be in the 7th. It could be the 8th. Could be the 9th, and that's when you got to shut the other team down.
And that's what I thought.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it was fantastic. That point, and now, you look ahead to the 9th inning. Munoz, Wong, Bader. Okay, that's not as strong of a trio as who was up with 2 on and nobody out, and the tying run already at the plate. So those 3 combined 1 for 9 with an infield single today. If Hurdle wanted to say, okay, Vasquez, we don't want you to pitch a 2nd inning, I'd think that's great. No, he can say go ahead and pitch a 2nd inning. That's fine too.
Like for instance, if Kella is feeling good,
right,
boom, he'd go out there and pitch the 9th now.
Sure. Or anybody really.
Well, I wouldn't send anybody out there.
But anybody that he uses with a lead, I mean, you know, to start a fresh inning with a 2-run lead against 3 guys near the bottom of the order.
Yeah, you would feel comfortable with our main guys out there in that scenario.
Yeah, and Kelly would be normally who has been healthy, but they're just trying to give him some rest right now. But I'm with you. They might end up saving this game. What he did in the 8th, Vasquez will come back out for the 9th, and Munoz to lead it off for St. Louis. Lead it 4-2 here in St. Louis. After this series, the Pirates pick up and play 3 in Milwaukee over the weekend. And on Friday, it'll be Chris Archer against Gio Gonzalez. Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason comes your way at 7:30.
That out-of-town scoreboard looks very familiar to me.
That is the out-of-town scoreboard from the previous incarnation of
Oh, that's why it looks so familiar.
And that's what it looked like at the final game upon its closure, 2005. Speaking of the closer, Vasquez came on, got 3 outs in the 8th, and Munoz with a leadoff single means that he'll face the tying run again here in the 9th. Buckle up. Now
there he is.
Jed Jerko waiting in the weeds. Activated today, and the last time that he played in a game was against the Pirates back in late August. And a groin concern, just running to first.
Now they had called that a home run, and then they ended up looking at it, deciding it was a double. But if it would have been called no home run off the get-go, I don't think Jerko would have made the second base. Remember that?
A single.
We were talking about
you made that great point.
It would have been just a single.
Well, hopefully it's a double play here, and he's not running very well. It's always hit well against the Pirates. 2 for 5 with a home run lifetime against Vasquez. Munoz at first. Need 3 outs before the Cardinals score twice. Popped him up down the line.
Land. It's a tough tough play to make. You're looking for, you know, a double play. And cheating towards second base, right-hand hitter. Long way for Frazier to run, that's for sure. Outfield very deep, playing no doubles.
And behind now a hitter's count on Jerko, 2-1.
Not playing no doubles in third. Just in the outfield.
In the air to right.
This should be pretty routine.
Luplow has the first out in the ninth. Harrison Bader, an infield hit back in the fifth today. 1 out of 3. Awfully tough to double him up. He runs well. Bader with 10 home runs. And ahead 2 balls and no strikes. Vasquez pitched the 8th. As we see the rookie Patrick Wisdom on deck. He would bat for the catcher Kelly. Just getting the outer edge. That red yarn of the ball with that outer edge of the plate.
Hitting the black border of the plate.
That's all you need.
Vasquez is showing some displeasure at himself for that pitch. Oh, he's going to take a little walk and think this over.
22 pitches now. It's 1 out. After coming on with 2 men aboard and nobody out in the 8th. The 3-1. And he walks Bader. Now the tying runs are on. Patrick Wisdom is going to pinch hit for Carson Kelly. Wisdom just 188, but with 3 home runs, he has hit for power in the minor leagues. And with a chance to, well, he is the winning run right now at the plate. I mean, that's what Mike Schild is thinking about. Ray Searage wants to make sure he knows all about Wisdom.
And this might be a little bit about maybe something Ray saw with the delivery. Trying to get him back in the strike zone also.
Yeah, not finishing perhaps,
yeah,
flying open a little bit.
You can see Vasquez wasn't happy with this, especially the ball 3 pitch. He really reacted to. You know, it might be just Ray going out there saying, hey, okay, let's just take a couple deep breaths, slow things down here for a second. Everything's fine. You got this. Just get back in the strike zone.
Stallings, the young catcher. Cirelli getting the day off today. Patrick Wisdom, 15 home runs at Memphis, 31 last year in AAA. And the base hit. Munoz rambling home. He's in, and now the tying run 90 feet away here in the ninth.
Wisdom just almost look at the swing. He's just trying to go the other way the whole time. Not trying to use that power. The ball down the line, and Munoz is going to score without even thinking about any kind of a play at the plate. Right now, you really need that double play ball. Or strikeout. I mean, Vasquez, he's a strikeout guy. Get ahead and punch him out.
Well, Vasquez, by virtue of leaving him in the ninth inning, trying to get his second career 2-out save. He did it on the final, or one of the final days of the season when he was with Washington 3 years ago, a 2-inning save. Bader, who runs well, remember on a fly ball, he'd be tagging up. Need that swing and miss.
That's what we need, a strikeout.
Trying to preserve the thinnest of margins now.
Thought that was it. When I saw him start to swing at that high fastball, I thought that was the one that was going to get him.
And DeYoung does strike out quite a bit. Has plenty of sock too, though. Who's going to win this battle? It's Vasquez with the strikeout. 2 down in the ninth.
Threw it right by him. There wasn't anything fancy there. There was just a lot of firepower, the fastballs. Vasquez not throwing over 100 today, though. I've just noticed, you know, everything's in the 90s.
They meet again. Vasquez came on with 2 men aboard, nobody out in the 8th. Popular then was the tying run. The tying run now stands at 3rd.
When's the last time Vasquez has faced somebody twice in one outing?
Very rarely, I'd imagine. Carpenter 0 for 5 now lifetime against Vasquez after flying out last inning. That's how they play him. Not as pronounced a shift. With Bader the potential tying run at 3rd. And it's 2-0 on Carpenter. Over the last 2 seasons combined, Vasquez has allowed 3 extra base hits to left-handed batters. Carpenter isn't your ordinary left-handed batter. One-run game with 2 outs in the 9th. And a strike. .32 pitches for Vasquez. to get a 6th out for the save. How about power versus power?
Yeah, right upstairs. Good spot. It's tough to hit when it's that high.
Carpenter, the home run leader, 35 long balls. And Vasquez has saved 21 in a row. Frazier takes a couple of steps back at second. Two on, 2 out, the 2-2. Wisdom will take second base. He was being held on, so it's a stolen base. If it gets there, Tyler O'Neill. Well, he's got the man he wants right in front of him. 3-2 to Carpenter. Foul ball.
Seems like we play more games like this in this ballpark than anywhere else.
You said it. I mean, a base hit here could win it, and a strike could end it in favor of the Pirates. The game hanging in the balance here in the 9th.
35 pitches now for Vasquez.
Outfielders are deep.
And they have one real good strike 3 pitch in his pocket. Yes, right there.
Carpenter caught, looking to end the ball game.
How about that? And that's in the center of the strike zone.
That's how it ends. A hush over the crowd in St. Louis.
It's like Mudville.
There would be no joy in St. Louis on this day. Felipe Vasquez had his way.
It's incredible how quiet it instantly got.
6 outs for the save. And the Cardinals, who had the winning run at second, the tying run at third, they are left in dismay as the Pirates pick up an important series finale victory, dealing the Cardinals a difficult defeat here in the series ender. Let's send it out now to Rob and Michael.